welcome to Addy Aviates. Welcome, aviators. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Embraer Phenom 300E. It's on Sim Markets. This plane is very good looking. It's got a little bit of a little wiggle there in the line on the tail fin, but other than that, it's a pretty cool livery. Good looking plane. It's modeled after the Cessna Citation CJ4. A lot of people were complaining that for the price that it is, they should have made a whole new plane model. I agree with that, but to me it doesn't look bad, and I feel like it functions pretty well. So let's hop in here. We're gonna be doing a full flight today from Atlanta, and let's get into it. So here we are in the cockpit. My girlfriend's dad actually flies one of these planes in real life, so I have seen the cockpit, and it does look exactly like this. So they did a good job on the visuals of the cockpit. However, I have noticed, as you see here, the screens are flashing. It has a nice reflection of the background, which is cool, but even when the screens are on, you do get that little flashing. I don't know if anyone's ever had any fixes to this, but what I've noticed is it mostly happens during the day, and then if you go at night, it's not bad. But so we're gonna go ahead and turn the plane on. So to do that, we'll open our checklist, and as you see here, we got the cockpit cabin inspection. So parking brake, we're gonna go ahead and set that. As you can see, it's right here. So parking brake is set. Battery switches are over here. Here's your battery 1. We'll turn that on. We'll turn on battery 2 on. Generator switches are up here. Generator 1 and generator 2 on. External power is off. And there it is. So our external power is off. And bat amps 0 or charging. So bat amps are 0 and the first one is charging. So there we go. Now we can go over to our starting engines, power levels, levers idle. So let me just change my settings here to twin engine jet. Let me go over in here. I'm using the Turtle Beach Velocity 1. I will be doing a review on that shortly as well. I've had it for about 3 weeks now. So let's go over here and change this to a twin engine jet as well as this, because this plane is a twin engine jet. So now I got in control of my throttle, so throttle idle. Right engine starter switch right here. So right engine starter switch on. Engine instruments, monitor those. So as you can see, the right engine is turning on. Power levels idle. They're still idle. Left engine starter switch number 2 on. We're going to monitor our engine switches or engine instruments, and they are charging up as well. So now our engines are on. You can go ahead and get that checklist out of the way. So now our screens are on. We have 3 massive displays right here, and then 2 small ones right here, and these are actually touch screens, and they do work. So you got your map settings, weather, direct to flight plan, procedures, aircraft systems, speedboat, waypoint info, and nearest, and this screen is the same exact thing. Take the yoke off. We have our comms up here, so you can actually type in your comms. Works great. And then to switch, you just press that little COM1 button. You have your second comm over here, but we're going to stay on comm 1. All right. Now, so for our map settings, we have north up, track up, or heading up. I like to personally use track up. That's just me. Weather gives you your weather section on the map. You can change those. Direct to, and then you can add your waypoint and then activate it. Flight plan, which I will be putting in today. So we're starting at Atlanta. So K-A-T and L, enter. And then we get here Hartsfield, Jackson, Atlanta. And then we're going to add our destination. I've noticed that you have to add your destination before adding your waypoints, which is, let me go to my flight plan. And our destination is KMCN today. So KMCN. I am always bad at finding letters on these screens. So KMCN, and then we'll add our waypoints. But actually, let's add our procedures first. So our departure is going to be the Varsity 2 departure off of runway. Actually, it doesn't say what runway, but so departure. Let's see if we can find Varsity 2. We got Varsity 3, but that'll work. So we'll load the Varsity 3 departure. And now we'll go back to our flight plan. And you can use this knob right here as your map range. So we'll zoom out. And it looks like we've got our route. So for now, we're just going to add in the departure, and so this is what you would use to use your flight plan, and you could add waypoints in here, enter those in there. But for now, we're just going to be using the departure just as a test flight. All right, so there's your screen right there. You got your comms up here, and you got your flight plan, your procedures, aircraft systems, just your lighting, how bright it is, how dim it is. You can add your takeoff configurations, your waypoint info, and your nearest airports and vectors. So let's put our yoke back on. And one thing I have noticed, parking brake, when the parking brake is engaged while your engines are on, it beeps at you until you disengage your parking brake, and I haven't been able to find any master switches or warnings. This is for your seatbelts, so that does not turn off your parking brake beeping. I haven't been able to find it. It's a switch that is an annoying part. Anytime you're on the ground and your engines are up, you are going to be hearing this parking brake, and I haven't found a way to fix that. So we'll turn on our lights, go out, and we'll look. So here's the outside of the plane. I think the outside looks pretty good, not gonna lie. Like I said, I've seen these in real life. I've been in one in real life. Our flaps were up as well as our spoilers. We don't want that. So everything works visually. Your flaps do go down, your spoilers do go up, your landing gear does go up. Everything works visually. So that's good, and the plane looks like it looks in real life. So as I said, the parking brake's gonna be beeping the whole time that your engines are on. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the parking brake off. And there you go, so now it's not beeping, which I have noticed that if your engines are idle, you don't move. So you don't have to have the parking brake on. But if you do have it on, it will beep. But as long as your engines are idle, you will not be moving. So we're gonna taxi on out of here. So as I said, this button is your map range. So we will use, I'm not sure what runway this is, but I would have to look at my diagrams, but I'm just gonna be test flighting this now. So our parking brake is off, we'll get our throttle up there, and then I have noticed that the rudder or the steering on here for taxiing is pretty, as you can see, like this is full. It's pretty sensitive. So I personally like that. I like some sensitive steering just to make it easier to taxi. So I'm actually I'm happy with that. But you do got some sensitive steering on the rudder. So we're gonna take this taxiway over to the runway. I believe it's gonna be runway 8 left, but we will see once we get there. I'm gonna taxi pretty quickly up there, so I don't want to be hearing in the comments that I'm taxiing too fast. We're just trying to make this a short and sweet review. So start slowing down. This is runway 8 left, but we're actually taking off at 8 right, I believe. All right, runway 8 right. Let's just get on this center line real quick. All right, so I'm runway 8 right. And let me show you guys this. If it's, say the sun were in my eyes right now, you actually have a sun visor that goes down. For some reason, it usually, it's because I was on it. So there you go, and you can move it down, you can move it up, and you can put it away by using this little line up here, show visor. All right, so we're gonna put full throttle. Give it a little right rudder. There you go. We got a little beeping going on. And we'll pull up. That was a horrible takeoff, but you do what you do. So as you can see, it's a right turn on this departure. So once we get up, we're gonna make a right turn, lower our throttles a little bit, and then I actually want to zoom out slightly. And just for the sake of showing you guys how this plane works, I am going to engage Autopilot and yaw damper. So now we turn nav mode on, and it should be getting us on that line we got, our navigation line. So as you can see up here, we got our autopilot, our yaw damper, flight director, nav, heading, altitude, vertical speed. And so you got everything there. As you can see, it's trying to center us on, because we have our nav mode on, we have our autopilot on. So let's try to get to, and the altitude only goes up by hundreds. You can't make it go up by thousands, which is disappointing, but we'll try to get to like 15,000. So since we passed down there, it's gonna, so that's our altitude hold, but we don't want that one to be at 15,000. So what I usually do is I turn a vertical speed on, and we're gonna go up about 2,500 feet per minute. And then what it's gonna do is it's gonna stop us at 15,000. So a little less throttle up there. As you can see, I forgot to put my landing gear. As you can see, Autopilot does work. It's trying to keep us on that heading. So we are trying to go 15,000, and actually we'll change that to, we'll go 12,000 since we're going to be pretty close. And then it shows us up in the top of this screen here, our navigation, we got 30 minutes, 1 minute till our next waypoint. Our estimated time of arrival is 18:39. Shows us our ground speed, our heading, and there you go. And our distance away from our next waypoint. We'll zoom out, and there we go. So that's our flight plan for today, for this test flight. Most of the buttons in here do work. We got pitch, aileron trim, rudder trim. That's inoperative. We got another pitch trim. This button is inoperative. This one's inoperative. So this whole little section here is inoperative. But most buttons do work. So we got batteries, generators. This is our power, our electrical. Most switches do work, which is great. As you can see, I'm just showing you guys what every button is. And then here's our primary flight display. We're over speeding, so let's put those throttles down. You can zoom in on this little mini map here, and you can zoom out. I usually use this to see if we're centered. We got primary flight display settings. This, as you can see, is cut off a little bit. So what they did is they obviously, this is a CJ4 model, so they can't make everything perfect. That's why people complain that it should be. This is our altimeter setting. But a lot of people are saying that they should have made just a whole new plane instead of modeling off the CJ4, which for the money I do agree with. As you can see, this is messed up here at the time. But you know, I did buy it because, like I said, my girlfriend's dad does fly one of these in real life, and it's cool to be able to fly one. Here's the plane in the air. It's a nice looking plane. I like it personally better than the Citations. Pretty sharp details. But yeah, so as you can see, it's trying to stop us at about 12,000. There you go. We just reached 12,000. That's going to bring us 12,000. So the autopilot, the altitude does work, which is great because some planes, the autopilot just does not cooperate. I've had that issue with the CJ4 actually myself, so it's great that that the autopilot does work on this plane. It's give me a straight shot. We got about 5 minutes till arrival. We got our compass up here, which does seem to be working. Got our lights. We can turn our landing light off. Because we're above 10,000. I like the screens. You can actually change. You can't change anything on here on your secondary display for your co-pilot. You can only change your primary screen, and then these buttons don't do anything for this middle display here. But you can actually work with this over on this side while you're working with something else on this side. So you can multitask in this way down here. so you can actually go to your flight plan and your procedures at the same time, which is pretty nice. But all these buttons up here work. Your heating. This you cut out your fuel. You can just stop playing if need be. But we're gonna start descending. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go vertical speed. This is just the way I do it. But first we're gonna set the altitude that we want to go to. So I want to descend to about 5,000 feet because we're approaching our destination. And then our vertical speed, we're gonna go down. I like to go around 3,000 feet per minute for a descent. And then let's take our throttle out so we don't overspeed on the descent. Can actually change this too because we're still 20 miles away, so we can change this to about 2,000 feet per minute. So as you can see, everything's in working order. The only thing I did notice is for your custom cameras, when you want to look in the passengers, the rear view, it just gives you an underbelly view, which there's no point in this. No, this is no good use whatsoever. I'm sure you can find a way to custom change it, but the way it comes out default, that's what you get, which is a little disappointing because I like if there's some passenger views like this. This is what you got here. You got preset view here and here, but then you get that, which I don't understand what that's for, but this is a pretty nice view, so. Not too bad, but I like if you'd be able to look out the window and stuff, look under the wing. But so we're descending, as you can see. This is accurate. This is accurate. 123.65. 123.65. So the screens work just as you'd expect them to. They're just a little bit of an overlay with some of the lettering. Overall, not too bad though. And like I said, this is actually what a Phenom 300 does look like in the cockpit. Very true to life. It's a pretty cool looking yoke, if you ask me. So we are now 11 miles away from our airport. And let's just real quick put an arrival in if we can. Some of these airports don't have arrivals. This one doesn't either. So what I'm going to do instead is see which way. Okay, so it's not going to tell me. Looks like we will be landing about this way. So we'll take our autopilot off and we'll start turning to the left a bit. Try to intercept that runway. Could 100% be landing on the wrong runway, but it is what it is. It's just a test flight. Actually, you know what? It looks like there's a runway going this way. So put some flaps in because we're definitely going too fast. Looks like we're not at a bad height, but we're descending pretty rapidly here. I'm not trying, obviously, to fly to the best of my abilities here. I'm just trying to make a nice little review flight so you guys can see how the plane flies. It's pretty maneuverable. A lot of people think that it's a little too quick. It's very touchy and almost if you were driving a sports car, which it kind of is. It's a nice quality plane, pretty fast. So there you go. The landing gear, like I said, does go down visually. Alrighty, so let's make sure we're still descending a little bit. We can add a little bit more throttle because we're idle. Let's add a little bit more flaps, and then as you can see here. This screen, the flaps, when I say I'm going to put no flaps for a second, and it does, as you can see, flaps do go up on that screen, but we're going to put about 75% flaps in. And as you can see, the flaps do go down. Same thing with the speed brake. So that's a pretty cool feature. Let's make this landing pretty nice. Turning your landing light back on. Should have done that a little earlier, but it is what it is. Looks like we're at a pretty good glide slope right now. Right around 500 feet per minute. Like I said, I'm using the Turtle Beach Velocity 1 flight as my yoke and throttle quadrant, and I will be making a review on that shortly. Alright, we'll go full flaps. I'm not 100% sure what our landing speeds and approach speeds supposed to be with the Phenom, but we'll aim for around 120. Add a little throttle because we're sinking a bit. Take it out. I am actually a student pilot right now in real life, so I'm trying my best to make my landings as smooth as possible so I can, you know, get that to happen in real life. Alright, we'll throttle idle. And there we are. Not sure how smooth of a touchdown that was, but it sounded pretty loud. So we'll go ahead and take the next exit we can onto a ramp. Looks like there's one right here. Whoa. Tipping over the plane. Alright, so not a very quality flight, but just figured I'd make a nice little short flight for you guys to see how the plane flies. We're going to put our parking brake on, and it's going to make that annoying noise again. So I'm probably just going to keep it off from now on, put our flaps up. But yeah, so that's how the plane flies. As you can see, our throttle's idle now, and we're not rolling anymore. It's a pretty good plane, in my opinion. I think it looks great. It flies well. And she's got a little bit of small bugs, but for it being the price it is, I'm going to give it about a 7 out of 10. Head on with a van right here. But yeah, so I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. And I hope you guys enjoy. I hope this helps you out on making your decision about if you want to buy the Phenom 300. I recommend it. It's the only option you got, and it's not too bad of an option. Thanks guys for watching, and make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. I'll see you soon.